Why is the MSM so determined to rehabilitate Prince Harry? So determined to...
Okay, so guess what? You won't believe what just happened. Like, Prince Harry actually went and asked the British government for this huge, crazy loan. Like, we're talking $21 million just so he could pay for security stuff for the Invictus Games coming up. And OMG, they totally shut him down. Like, not even quietly. They were super firm about it. Like, big people in the Home Office and Treasury were all like, nope, not happening. And now it's kind of embarrassing for him. Like, imagine asking for that much and getting told no, like that.
To blame Prince William for the fact that Harry and Meghan are still not back into the royal fold. So if you look at this from the Daily Express, Prince William must bring Harry in from the cold to stop the Sussex.
And girl, let me tell you, the way they described his request was so brutal. Like, they straight up called it financially reckless and totally out of touch. Like, who even does that? And the wild part is this wasn't just about money. It kinda shows how Harry, who literally walked away from the royal fam, is now turning around asking that same system for cash. Like, what even? And at the same time, he's apparently trying to patch things up with his dad and brother. Like, that's a lot going on. And people aren't just side-eyeing the amount he wanted. They're also super confused about why he thought this was okay in the first place.
Prince Harry have been warned that they need to end their feud for the sake of the UK. Absolute rubbish. Prince William wants to keep Prince Harry and his awful wife.
Okay, so Harry said the games needed big security and asked for money without explaining much, like no approval, no questions, just hand it over. But the government was like, nope, this is too much, too messy, and way too secret. And with the country already tight on money, they were not having it.
In exile for the sake of the UK, for the sake of the monarchy. And I'm getting so sick of this. I mean, as Royal B posted on X, this headline is disturbing on so many levels. H put himself in the cold. He made a choice to leave. It's not William's response.
And like, imagine asking for that kind of money when you live in a huge mansion in Montecito and have all these fancy streaming deals. Like, seriously, people were not okay with it. The officials who looked at his request shut it down fast and said it was just not right. And honestly, kind of rude to the public. And what Harry didn't seem to get is that people are kind of over him after he left the royal fam and kept doing interviews, books, lawsuits, and all that drama nonstop.
Media to stir up this hatred again towards Prince William. Prince William is the bad guy. Harry is the one that did everything. He is the one that made those decisions. He is the one that has attacked his family, that treated his grandmother and his grandfather in their final days on this earth so appallingly.
And honestly, his popularity is just going down, like both in the UK and the US. People used to think he was breaking free and doing his own thing, but now it's starting to look like one long publicity stunt that nobody's really into anymore. And especially in the UK, folks are tired of all the drama. So when they heard he wanted a huge loan from the same government he once said couldn't keep him safe, it just made everything sound super awkward and kind of unbelievable.
I don't want him back. I don't want him near my family. You know, he has to think that his son is one day going to be king. Harry and Meghan bring nothing but toxicity and negativity. You can already see, like we've just discussed, everything that has come out in the media the last few days because of one meeting, and it wasn't even
So he wanted all that money just to protect himself at his own event, and people were like, nope. Even top officials warned that saying yes could make other celebs start asking for the same thing, and that would just be a mess.
His aides, or Harry's staff as it were, that are doing this. And William they always try and make him out to be the bad guy. And I can only think it's the people that are working in certain mainstream newspapers that do not want the royal family to continue.
Like, even if he tried to make it sound noble or patriotic, the government was not fooled. They said no from every angle. And it kind of showed that they're done playing along with his royal drama. Like, one insider even said, "We're not here to pay for his royal flashbacks." He made his bed. Now he has to lie in it. And honestly, the wildest part of this whole thing isn't even the money.
William to come to the throne, and this is why that they are using Harry and Meghan in a way to stir up this divide between father and son, between the king and William. William is not the bad guy here. Harry is the one that chose to do everything to his.
And the wildest part is that while he was busy asking the British government for all that money, he was also secretly trying to reconnect with the royal family, like behind the scenes. He was reaching out to royal aides and trying to set up some big public moment during the Invictus Games where he could be seen with King Charles and Prince William, like a happy family moment to show everything's cool again. But palace insiders were not buying it at all. They saw the whole thing as kind of fake. Like it wasn't about making peace. It was more about making Harry look good again, like a planned photo op to get back some of the respect and royal image he's lost over time.
UK and the Commonwealth as well. Don't forget, he labelled the public all predominantly racist and then tried to tear down the Commonwealth in Netflix.
Or Tash, do you just think that he maybe wanted to... Sorry, that these people who you're referring to, actually, they just want the trouble?
And like, can you imagine trying to pull off this sweet family moment in front of cameras from all over the world while also trying to get millions on the side? Like, seriously, William is apparently super mad and thinks the whole thing was just a sneaky move to fix Harry's image while dragging the rest of the family into his mess. And honestly, the government saying no wasn't just about the money. It was them drawing a line like, hey, just because you have a title doesn't mean you get to make secret deals anymore.
Harsh, Tash, but I did look at Harry this week, and remember, I looked at him at Nexus in New York a couple of weeks ago after rumors that he'd been having his own health crisis, and he does look terrible. He looks utterly appalling.
He does.
And like, no matter how hard he tries, he can't just push the British public into paying for his big royal comeback. He's the one who walked away, and now he's finding out what that really means. And if the rejection felt harsh, that's because it totally was like a loud, clear message saying, nope, the door is closed. No loans, no fake family hugs, nothing in the Invictus Games. Yeah, they'll still happen, but without the drama he was hoping for.
Disheveled a lot of the time. We saw, actually, funnily enough, at that Nexus appearance that he was every 2 or 3 words. You know, he was barely coherent, like he had a hangover or he'd barely slept the night before.
Yep.
Harry's
So now, the Invictus Games are still happening, but without the British government handing over money for Harry's security, and no one really knows if he's gonna show up looking like the confident host or just some uncomfortable guest at his own event. But what's totally clear is that the country he left behind has now left him behind too, and this whole situation is far from over. Like, the no from the government was just the beginning, and people are only getting more fired up.
with both brothers are shining through. Prince William looks fit and healthy because he's a good person with a loving family. He's got a wonderful drive to him. He is doing his best with all of the wonderful initiatives.
So when word started spreading that Harry actually asked for a $21 million security loan, people in high places were like, wait, what? And that shock turned into serious side-eye real fast. Because honestly, it just showed how out of touch he's gotten with how things really work in public service. Like, ministers were all confused. Like, how does someone who said he wanted a chill, quiet life in California now think it's okay to ask the British government for that kind of money?
He has so much purpose, and Harry, let's be honest, doesn't have any. And I think the mainstream media and Harry and Meghan have one thing in common. Harry and Meghan know that their biggest money earners was Oprah, was Spare, was Netflix.
And honestly, the part that really got everyone talking was how he felt so bold asking for such a huge amount from the same government he's publicly bashed over and over. Like, how do you leave the royal family, move to California, say you want privacy, throw shade at the UK in interviews, and then turn around and ask for millions? Like, it's no big deal. And one member of parliament even said straight up, this isn't some prince needing support. This is a celebrity party looking for public money to cover a personal vanity project. And the minute that internal no came through, people inside the palace were already whispering and reacting. Like it didn't take long at all for the drama to heat up again.
Constantly being stirred. And that's where I think more people are beginning to step away from mainstream media, and they are relying on people like you, Dan, on people that are on social media to actually get a different perspective, because what mainstream media are stuffing down our throats about the royal family,
Because back in the day, the palace might have tried to smooth things over quietly, like sending private messages or stepping into things down. But this time, they're just letting Harry deal with the storm all by himself. There's no one rushing in to clean up the mess, no gentle words behind the scenes, no last-minute help from the top, just total silence as the whole thing plays out in public. And honestly, it's starting to look like the royal family is done protecting him from the consequences of his own choices.
not certain that the king was really getting ready to welcome Harry back with open arms. But because of that meeting taking place, it allowed it to be twisted into this big storyline of the king is offering an olive branch again. And I'm not so sure that's even true.
So instead of a response or any kind of reaction, there was just complete silence. Like this cold, planned kind of silence that honestly hit harder than any official statement ever could. It was like the royal family's way of saying, Harry, you're completely on your own now. And it wasn't just Charles keeping quiet. William didn't say anything either, but his silence felt heavier, like there was real anger underneath it. And someone close to the royals said, William actually knew about the whole loan request, and he was seriously offended that Harry was trying to turn the Invictus Games into some kind of feel-good family moment just to clean up his image. And that did not go over well at all. William was upset that something once meaningful is now looking like Harry's personal comeback, and he feels like Harry is trying to turn a PR move into something patriotic just to win people over. And insiders say William's not playing along, and honestly, it's starting to look like Harry really overestimated how much support he still had back home. Harry probably thought the Invictus Games were untouchable, like no one would question them because they help wounded vets and have this strong purpose. But now people in the government are starting to see things differently, like the games are starting to feel more political, especially since Harry keeps tying them to his personal brand. And even though the mission is still respected, some officials are wondering if he's using that good reputation to ask for sympathy and money without being totally upfront about it. People saw Harry asking for money while living in luxury as totally out of touch. And it wasn't just officials saying no. Even the British media started calling him out, like, how can he say the UK is unsafe but still plan a big event there? It's just not adding up, and everyone's starting to see the contradiction. And now people are seriously wondering if the Invictus Games can even keep going the same way without support from the UK, or if this whole mess is gonna change everything moving forward for good. Even if Harry somehow gets sponsors or wealthy friends to step in and pay for his private security, the damage is kind of already done. Like the fact that the British government publicly stepped back has taken away some of the shine and respect the Invictus Games used to have. And now there's this big, uncomfortable question floating around. Like, will other countries still want to host the games if it means dealing with all the baggage and the expensive demands? Or will they start seeing it as too risky, too political, and too tied to Harry's personal drama to be worth the hassle? And that shift could really change the future of the whole thing. And honestly, this whole thing isn't just about the money anymore. It's starting to show how much this really meant to Harry on a deeper level. Like, this was his big chance to reconnect with the UK, to be seen next to his dad and brother at a huge event and kind of rewrite the story around him like a redemption moment in front of the world. But now none of that's happening, and instead, he's left looking even more alone than before. Like the government straight up said, no, the royal family didn't say a word, and the public just rolled their eyes. And what was supposed to be this powerful moment of healing has turned into yet another awkward reminder that the doors he thought might open are still very much closed. Okay, so if you're into the tea, the drama, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff they don't want you to know, then you have to stick around because trust me, this is just the beginning. So go hit that subscribe button right now and come hang out with me here on Taylor Tells All, where the gossip is always hot, the vibes are always chill, and the truth, well, let's just say it always finds a way out.